I got older and I started acting, I couldn't play any sport because you can't get injured.
Right.
You know, you break your leg and all of a sudden everyone's kind of...
It started with headlines that spread across the internet like wildfire. Articles claimed that Tom Holland, the beloved face of Spider-Man, had been rushed to the hospital after a terrifying stunt accident on set. Fans around the world were immediately gripped with fear. The idea that something serious might have happened to him while filming was enough to send shockwaves through social media. The earliest reports painted a dramatic picture, and with words like rushed and hospitalized plastered everywhere, people were left believing the worst. The first outlet to run with the story was The Sun, and it didn't take long for others to pick it up. According to them, Holland had cracked his head open during filming and was being treated for a concussion. The way it was written made it sound like chaos erupted on set, as if the stunt had gone horribly wrong, wires had snapped, and disaster had unfolded in front of the cameras. For a moment, it felt like Spider-Man himself had fallen in real life. But as more reliable updates began to trickle in, the picture became clearer. Deadline stepped in with a calmer report, confirming that yes, Tom Holland had indeed gotten hurt, but the situation was nowhere near as catastrophic as some outlets had made it seem. What really happened was this. During a stunt, he hit his head. He didn't crack his skull or collapse in the middle of chaos. Instead, as a precaution, production made the smart choice of sending him to the hospital to get checked out. What he suffered was a mild concussion, not a career-ending injury. That doesn't mean it wasn't serious, head injuries always are, but it wasn't the disaster headline writers made it sound like. In fact, production only temporarily suspended filming while he recovered. The plan was never to shut everything down indefinitely, just to give Holland a break so he could heal. A source close to the film explained that the pause was purely precautionary. Still, the way the story spread shows how quickly misinformation takes hold. Some reports even claimed a female stunt double had also been hospitalized. But that part was built on shaky ground from the start. Even the initial article seemed uncertain about it, saying only that a woman believed to be a stunt double had been taken to the hospital. No other outlet ever confirmed it, and as the days passed, it became clear that detail wasn't accurate.
We could service the fans and bring something that's just as special and something that is just as exciting.
The focus remained squarely on Holland, and that's when fans got the update they'd been hoping for. Just one day after being hospitalized, Tom Holland appeared at a charity event with his fiancée, Zendaya. That single appearance was enough to reassure people that he was okay, or at least well enough to stand in front of a crowd, smile, and take some pictures. Of course, it didn't mean he was fully recovered. Reports noted that he left the event early after feeling unwell, a reminder that concussions are nothing to take lightly. But his presence there showed just how committed he was. Even while injured, he made sure not to cancel his appearance, likely because the event was for a good cause. That act alone spoke volumes about his character. His father, Dominic Holland, was also spotted at a different charity dinner, where he confirmed that Tom would be stepping away for a little while. This statement gave more weight to the idea that he wasn't simply taking a quick weekend off.
Tell me about the training, though. Those Instagram videos of you flipping, doing everything.
I've always been a gym...
But rather giving himself enough time to properly rest. The timeline wasn't a month or longer, nothing that drastic, but it was clear he wouldn't be returning to high-intensity stunt work right away. For now, he needed time. That was an important reminder of the way Holland approaches his role. Unlike many actors in superhero films, he performs a significant portion of his own stunts. He has always embraced the physical side of Spider-Man, throwing himself into action sequences to make the character feel as real as possible. It's one of the reasons fans admire him so much. But the same dedication that makes his performances authentic is also what sometimes puts him at risk. Stunts, no matter how carefully choreographed, always come with danger. And when your job involves leaping, flipping, and crashing into things, the odds of getting hurt are never zero. The timing of the accident was especially delicate because Spider-Man, Brand New Day was in the middle of filming. The movie already carries enormous expectations. After the massive scale of No Way Home, this new chapter was designed to take the character in a fresh direction. Instead of relying on high-tech suits built by Tony Stark or being defined by his connections to the Avengers, Peter Parker is now alone, crafting his own identity and even his own suit. The film is meant to mark a rebirth, a chance to see him as a street-level hero again, facing challenges that are closer to home. And Holland himself has embraced that change. His new costume reflects it too, pulling inspiration from the Spider-Men who came before him. For years, fans have noticed little nods in his suits, but this time the influence is deliberate. The design carries details reminiscent of the versions worn by Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, a quiet way of acknowledging the legacy he's now a part of. It's a symbolic choice that says Peter Parker is trying to stand on his own, while still looking up to his predecessors. That sense of continuity is important because it ties into the emotional weight left behind by No Way Home. That film ended with Peter truly isolated, no Stark technology, no Aunt May, no safety net. Just a young man trying to do the right thing. In many ways, it brought him closer to the version of Spider-Man audiences first fell in love with decades ago. The neighborhood hero fighting crime on his own block, not just saving the universe alongside gods and billionaires. Brand New Day is supposed to capture that spirit, and Holland has been vocal about how different this chapter feels compared to the past trilogy. The accident, while scary, doesn't appear to have derailed those plans. Production has only been paused temporarily, and all signs point to Holland making a full recovery. Still, the incident underscores just how much he invests in the role. He doesn't simply put on the suit. He risks his own safety to bring Spider-Man to life in the most authentic way possible. It's a sacrifice few actors are willing to make at his level of fame. At the same time, the way he handled himself after the injury, appearing at a charity event, smiling for photos, keeping commitments even when unwell, reminded fans why they admire him off-screen too. It wasn't about ignoring his health. It was about showing up because he cared. When he left early, it was clear he was listening to his body, but the fact that he showed up at all was a sign of his dedication. For Marvel Studios and Sony, the priority now is ensuring he fully recovers before stepping back into dangerous stunt work. A concussion, no matter how mild, isn't something to brush aside. With the kind of high-intensity action sequences Spider-Man movies demand, it's important to give him time. Fortunately, the tone of the updates suggests this won't be a long-term setback. If scans show no lingering damage, he could be back on set within a week. The story has been a roller coaster from the start. Panic-inducing headlines, exaggerated rumors, and then relief as the truth came into focus. What it really illustrates is the fine line between rumor and fact in today's news cycle. A mild concussion became a supposed skull fracture in the span of a few articles, and for a brief moment, fans feared the worst. But the reality, while still serious, is far less grim. Tom Holland is recovering. The movie will move forward, and Spider-Man's journey is far from over. So as fans wait for the next update, one thing is clear. Holland's commitment to both the role and to his supporters remains unwavering. He may have stumbled on set, but it hasn't stopped him from showing up where it matters, whether that's for charity or for the millions of people eagerly waiting to see what Spider-Man does next. And that's the story for now. A scare that turned out to be less catastrophic than feared. A reminder of how much Holland gives to this role, and a glimpse into the future of a franchise that continues to reinvent itself. Here's hoping his recovery is quick and complete, because the world is ready to see the next chapter of Spider-Man unfold. If you want to stay updated on everything Marvel and beyond, make sure to hit that subscribe button. There's plenty more to come, and you won't want to miss it.